Now, this weekend, we will see my next guests taking on what's been called the most dangerous reality TV show ever. Alone sees 11 people dropped into the remote Canadian wilderness with just a camera and a few very basic tools to survive.
Okay.
Pip and Eva join me. I'm sorry, I just kept thinking Blair Witch the whole way through that, and that is not what you need to hear. Ladies, it has been billed as the most extreme survival experiment. Pip, just how extreme was it?
It's, I think, quite extreme in comparison to anything that the UK will have seen so far people doing. And it's a very interesting situation being on your own, and definitely the uniqueness of filming everything yourself and coping with what's out there. It's just immense.
And there's no sneaky pit stops at all here, Eva, where you can sort of nip off and have a cup of tea somewhere. You genuinely were on your own with a camera and a few tools to help you literally survive.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we were told beforehand. And then that was the reality as well, you know. We could pick 10 items before we went off a list of quite basic things. And then it was...
What are we talking, like, you know?
Oh, well, we had to take a sleeping bag because of how cold it was going to get.
Okay, that's fairly essential.
Yeah. And then it was kind of off a list. We all took an axe, a knife and a saw, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then everyone sort of had a few different things, cooking pots, fishing hooks, but no luxuries, so.
Well, Eva, you're an NHS project manager. Aside from that, you've always said you love the outdoors. Mm-hmm. This is proper outdoors. This is real survival in terms of, like, how do you eat? Like, were you starving for most of the time you were there? I mean, how did you work it? You didn't have to use the axe, did you?
I did use the axe, yeah. And I was a vegetarian before I went out.
Please tell me you've gone back to being a vegetarian after that experience.
Mostly. But no, the sort of hunting and foraging was like the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, on the difficulty level.
Yeah, it was a lot more barren, wasn't it, than I think we were expecting.
Yeah. We were told what would be in the area, and we were. It was explained what we could and couldn't catch, because being in Canada, none of us are native to that area, so it was quite important that we were introduced to that. And then, yeah, we could make our own fishing nets, we could make our own traps. We had to be quite inventive on sourcing our food and surviving, essentially.
Extraordinary experiment. I mean, we're seeing there's bears, there's wolves, there's all sorts there. I mean, you're not shielding yourself away from the nature because it's coming to you, potentially. Were you constantly fearful?
Yeah, it's totally immersive, and you have to remain sort of hyper-vigilant at all times. But you do get to a point where you, even hearing a twig snap, and you're sort of looking around, expecting the worst. And there were signs all the time that there were things there. And then, you had to get on with doing your daily routine. You couldn't not focus on what you were there to do, and that was to survive.
And I think you probably thought it was going to be very physically demanding, but I'm betting the mental side of it was probably tougher than any of it, Eva.
Yeah, I mean, before I went out, I kind of thought the physical might be the worst bit. I'd done quite a lot of solo hiking and solo travelling before, so I thought, oh, you know, I've done a little bit of being on my own, but actually being on your own with no distractions, no phone, you can't text, you know, your mum. You can't even, like, distract yourself, you know, scroll through social media or listen to some music or read a book to take you out of it. You're just in your head and on your own.
You've got to give yourself over to it, really, in many respects. But you did say coming home eventually.
Yeah.
It did transform your life.
Yeah. I've sort of described it as coming home and sort of seeing my life through, like, a fresh set of eyes. So I didn't have any, like, huge revelations while I was out there. It was just like, what am I eating next?
Yeah.
But I came home and was like, oh, you know, I thought I was happy, but maybe I was just trundling along on a bit of autopilot. So yeah, almost no part of my life now is the same as it was.
It's incredible. That's extraordinary in itself. Would you do it again, Pip?
Yes.
Would you?
Absolutely.
Oh, there's no stopping you then if that's the case. My goodness me.
I think, you know, if you enjoy challenges and you are happy to put yourself out there, if they come along, take the opportunity, and I would definitely do it again.
Well, you both did that. I really honestly can't wait to see. So now I've met you both as well, it will feel so much more to me. Alone begins this Sunday, 9 p.m. on Channel 4, an incredible TV show. Thank you so much, ladies. I'm glad you're here. Safe and sound.
Safe and sound.
Yeah.
Hands and
Coming
feet.
up.